Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. We're in a situation that could be absolutely explosive for 2025, starting right after this election. But for the next 12 months, things could go up really quickly for Bitcoin. Fred Krueger, who has a PhD from Stanford, is at least a multimillionaire from how well he has done on Wall Street for decades. You all know that I used to trade bonds. He is also a friend of the station. You can see him on Bitcoin News. That meant I kept a very close eye on interest rates, just gave his prediction for Bitcoin in 2025 based on the Fed's upcoming change. People used to call me Fred Krueger, the Marsk, because I dealt a lot of US interest rate futures, especially labor futures, on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. At the end of the day, they would all call me Fred Krueger, the Marsk pickup to close my trades. One more thing, don't go against the Fed. There is one thing that drives the price of Bitcoin more than anything else: don't fight the Fed. Don't fight the Fed, which is the most important thing in the world when it comes to interest rates. What's going to happen at the next FOMC meeting? The next Fed meeting is on September 17th, and the results will be released on September 18th. This is the first time since the emergency cuts they made during the pandemic in 2020 that the Fed is going to change direction and cut interest rates. And for how hard they've worked over the last few years to fight inflation, slow down markets, and make markets more stable. Finally, let's take a step back and look at the upcycle we saw. The Fed started with a 25 basis point hike and quickly stepped it up with 50 and 75 basis point hikes. I think that's an admission that they were behind the times. On the other end of the spectrum, the Fed is going to cut rates now. Things are about to go the other way. I think it's important to not forget how important this next cycle is going to be. The interest rate is now 5 and 3/8. The rate will be lowered by 25 to 50 basis points next Wednesday. We are also going to talk about where interest rates are likely to go in the future. But I think the most important thing is to see where Fed fund futures are moving. I just opened that today and thought, oh my god, the interest rates are 5 and 3/8 futures on interest rates for December 2025 are at 97.19, which means that 280 is the interest rate that people are betting on in the interest rate prediction market. The market is telling us that interest rates will drop from 5.5% to less than 3% in a year. What a huge move that is. Also, there's no reason not to subscribe right now if you want to keep up with the markets and get crypto alpha. He shares such good information. I like him because he knows that US money market funds with trillions of dollars will be looking for a better place to park their cash. As rates go down, they won't be getting these higher yields of over 5% anymore. This means we're about to enter a risk-on situation. It's not doing anything when you have $4 trillion in money market funds. This is what will happen. Interest rates will drop from 5 and 3% to below 3% on $200 trillion worth of bonds. This will cause people to rush to low-risk investments. The biggest asset manager in the world, BlackRock and Fidelity, all offer an asset that is finally controlled in US markets. What is new this year? I was wrong about what I thought 5 years ago. This is what I believe today, or this is what I think. I think the chance is today. I think Bitcoin is real. And because there are so few of them available, mathematically speaking, the price can only go in one way if enough people want it. What does that mean? That means stocks go up. That means home prices go up. That means bonds get more expensive. Bitcoin will go up because of this. Also, think about the pressure to sell that we've been under for a few months. It's ending soon. There is definitely a push to sell there. Altcoin Daily told you a few weeks ago why Bitcoin's price dropped last month. All markets crashed because the German government sold MT, GOX redistributed, and the US government sold Silk Road assets. As the co-founder of Swan stated, all the selling was taken in. One big reason for that is that we had huge amounts of stock that were released and put on the market. The US Marshals are selling coins from the Silk Road worth more than $1 billion this year. Germany is going to sell $3 billion. And there were the long-awaited MT, GOX distributions, where people who had been waiting for these coins for more than 8 years finally got them. Lastly, people who have been waiting more than 8 years to get Bitcoin from a bankruptcy are going to sell some of those coins. Compared to what it could have been, I think it was pretty quiet. This was worth a very large amount of money. This is the main reason why Bitcoin has been holding steady while gold hasn't been under as much selling pressure. It also means that gold prices will go up. Of course, today is the first time that gold has ever been seen moving above $2,600 an ounce. That should tell you a lot, since there are no mountain docks of gold. No one is there. Germany is not going to sell their gold stores. In fact, the reverse is true. China is buying a lot of gold. This is what I think will happen to Bitcoin too. But even more, what are some good things that could happen with the price of Bitcoin next year? To be honest, I think that around $200,000 is likely to happen by the end of 2025. We might be 3 or 4 times higher than we are now. As for the risk return, I think it's going to be great. I wouldn't put too much at risk when I play. I would rather not have any power at all if that's what you want. I always like having no power. I guess you should be though. Bitcoin gets a lot of attention. I believe it will do really well. You sign up for Altcoin Daily to get breaking news like this. The SEC recently admitted that it mistakenly labeled cryptocurrencies as stocks. This means that the SEC is sorry for any confusion this caused. And all of this was written down in court. A footnote in a court filing from September 12 says that the US Stocks and Exchange Commission SEC has changed their mind about calling cryptocurrency stocks after years of doing so and will use more careful language from now on. Gary Gensler says, "Oh, I'm sorry, the retraction came about because the SEC is still suing the cryptocurrency exchange Binance for selling and offering unregistered stocks. To remind you, the SEC said in a 2023 lawsuit that 10 crypto assets on the Binance platform were securities. These included Solana, Cardano, and Polygon." This is the news for today. The SEC is sorry for any misunderstanding this caused by calling these tokens crypto asset securities, but they will not use that term anymore. That's quite a turn for the Fed. This looks like a change in language from the SEC. It's still being sued though. The SEC says that even with this narrower meaning, Binance is still responsible for illegal securities offerings, since its tokens are still being sold as investment contracts. Which leads me to believe that they're saying that the protocols and tokens themselves are not securities, but that Binance is offering them as investments as a securities market. It's clear that this is an ongoing story. It's more important than ever to keep up with crypto. Share your email address and help us reach 1.5 million members by the end of the year. As always, I'll see you tomorrow.